Welcome back my YouTube channel Rare Coin Review. Today's video, we'll take a close look at one of South Africa's most intriguing coins, this coin 1962 1-cent coin. This small copper piece holds a big place in the hearts of collectors, thanks to its rich history, distinctive design, and surprising value. The story of a 1962 1-cent coin begins during an important time in South Africa's past. The country had recently adopted its own decimal currency system, moving away from the British pound-based system that had been used for decades. The introduction of the South African rand in 1961 marked a new era, and the 1-cent coin was among the first of these new denominations. The 1962 1-cent coin was produced at the South African Mint, located in Pretoria. These coins were struck primarily in bronze, giving them their warm, reddish-brown appearance. The standard composition was about 95% copper, with small amounts of tin and zinc added for strength and durability. Each coin weighed approximately 3.56 grams and measured about 19 millimeters in diameter on the obverse side. Where the front of the coin, you'll find the image of Jan van Riebeeck, a historical figure who played a key role in the establishment of the Cape Colony in the 17th century. His portrait had been featured on South African coins since the 1950s, symbolizing the nation's early European roots and colonial past. The words Issue d'Africa and South Africa appear on either side of the portrait, along with the year 1962 to flipping the coin over. The reverse design features the elegant image of two sparrows perched on a branch. This simple yet beautiful design was created by the talented artist Willie Myburgh. The depiction of the birds represents peace, simplicity, and the natural beauty of South Africa, a theme that connected with many people at the time and continues to charm collectors today. While millions of these coins were minted for circulation, only a few examples have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Most coins were heavily used in everyday trade, which led to scratches, wear, and loss of original luster. That's why collectors today are always searching for those rare, mint-condition specimens that still shine as they did over 60 years ago. The historical context of this coin also adds to its appeal. The early 1960s were a politically turbulent time for South Africa, with significant social changes and global attention on its policies. For numismatists, coins from this period tell more than just a financial story. They reflect the nation's complex identity and the transitions it was undergoing. Another interesting aspect of the 1962 1-cent coin is its connection to earlier designs from the 1950s. The layout and style remained consistent through much of that decade, making this coin one of the last to feature the traditional designs before later changes in the 1970s. This continuity makes the 1962 issue especially important for collectors who specialize in South African decimal coinage. Over the years, coin enthusiasts have discovered minor variations and minting errors in some 1962 1-cent coins. These include slightly off-center strikes, die cracks, and small differences in the rim or lettering. Such variations, while subtle, can greatly increase the coin's desirability and market value among dedicated collectors. Now, let's talk about the value. The 1962 1-cent coin in average circulated condition is generally worth just a few dollars. However, rare examples in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, especially those graded by professional services, can reach astonishing prices. In some exceptional cases, coins of this type have been valued at up to $2 million, particularly if they feature a verified minting error or belong to a unique proof strike series. The incredible value is not just due to rarity, but also the historical symbolism and the strong interest from international collectors. South African coins have gained global attention in the numismatic market, and any piece from the early years of the Rand era is seen as a treasure representing both art and history. Collectors often emphasize the importance of proper care and storage for bronze coins like this one. Exposure to humidity, air, and human touch can cause discoloration and corrosion. Keeping such a coin in an airtight holder or a graded slab helps preserve its condition and maintain its long-term value. When examining a 1962 1-cent coin, pay close attention to the details. The sharpness of the sparrow's feathers, the clarity of the lettering, and the brightness of the surface. These are all key indicators of quality. A well-preserved example will display a crisp design, full color, and minimal marks. For anyone interested in collecting coins from South Africa, this particular year serves as a great starting point. It's a bridge between old and new, connecting the colonial past with the modern currency system. Even if you never find one worth millions, owning a 1962 1-cent coin is like holding a small piece of history in your hands. As with any collectible, the true value goes beyond money. This coin tells a story of change, artistry, and identity. It reminds us that even the smallest pieces of metal can carry the weight of a nation's journey through time. This coin 1962, South Africa 1 center coin history. This coin 1964 South Africa 1 cent. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary old penny, but this coin carries a remarkable story, rich in culture, politics, and surprising value. The year 1964 was a crucial period in South Africa's history. It was only 4 years after the country officially became a republic in 1961, stepping away from British rule and the Commonwealth. During this time, South Africa was reshaping its national identity, and its currency became a key part of that transformation. The 1-cent coin issued in 1964 was among the first decimal coins to represent the Republic of South Africa rather than the Union of South Africa. Decimalization had taken place just a year earlier, in 1961, introducing the rand as the new official currency, replacing the old pound system. The 1-cent coin was equivalent to 1/100th of a rand, modeled after international decimal systems for simplicity and modernization. That on the obverse side of the coin, we see a beautifully detailed portrait of Jan van Riebeeck, the Dutch colonial administrator who founded Cape Town in 1652. His image was symbolic of South Africa's European colonial past and featured prominently on the nation's early Republican coinage. The portrait was finely engraved, giving the coin a refined and classic appearance. Turning the coin over, the reverse design displays 2 sparrows perched on a branch, representing harmony and simplicity. This delicate design, created by sculptor L.S. Kruger, captured a sense of peace and natural beauty that contrasted sharply with the turbulent social and political environment of South Africa in the 1960s. The design also included the denomination 1 cent and the year 1964, both clearly struck in terms of material. The coin was made of bronze, specifically an alloy of copper, tin, and zinc. It measured about 19 millimeters in diameter and weighed approximately 3.56 grams. The reddish-brown tone of the bronze gave it a warm appearance, and over time, it developed a charming patina that many collectors now appreciate as a sign of authenticity and age. The minting of the 1964 1-cent coin took place at the South African Mint in Pretoria. Millions of these coins were produced for circulation, which makes the ordinary examples fairly common. However, as with many coins, not all were created equal. Some rare varieties, minting errors, and specially preserved proof coins have become incredibly valuable to collectors around the world. One of the most fascinating aspects of this coin lies in its political and cultural context. During the 1960s, South Africa was undergoing intense international scrutiny due to the apartheid system. Coins like the 1964 1 cent became quiet witnesses to a complex history. Everyday objects that passed through countless hands while the nation around them was in turmoil. Over time, coin collectors began to notice that certain examples of the 1964 1-cent coin were struck with exceptional precision, and a handful were preserved in almost perfect condition. A few were even struck as proof coins for official presentation sets, featuring a mirror-like finish and razor-sharp details. These coins are exceedingly rare today. Now let's talk about value. Most circulated 1964 South African 1-cent coins are worth between $1 and $5, depending on condition. However, a few rare proof specimens and error coins, especially those struck on the wrong planchet or with double die features, have fetched astonishing prices at auction. The highest verified sale of a 1964 South Africa 1-cent coin reached a staggering $1.8 million, owing to its flawless preservation, rarity, and historical significance. That single sale placed this humble bronze coin among the most valuable South African coins ever sold. For collectors, this coin represents more than monetary value. It is a tangible connection to a defining era in South African history. Owning one is like holding a small piece of the nation's journey from colonial past to modern republic. Each coin tells its own story, from the hands that used it in everyday trade to the vaults that protected its pristine examples. The coin also stands as an artistic achievement. L.S. Kruger's delicate design, combined with the craftsmanship of the South African Mint, produced a piece that is both simple and elegant. Even outside of its financial worth, the coin remains a miniature work of art. Collectors and historians alike continue to study these coins closely, looking for new variations, unexplained markings, and minting differences that could reveal even more hidden stories. As more collections surface from estates and private holdings, new discoveries still occasionally make headlines, reminding us that the world of coins is full of surprises. If you ever come across a 1964 South Africa 1-cent coin, take a moment to look closely. Examine the details, the shine, the edges, and the condition. What may seem like a small copper coin could just possibly be a priceless treasure waiting to be recognized. This coin 1964 South Africa 1-cent coin history. This coin 1969 South Africa 1-cent coin, a seemingly modest copper coin that has captivated collectors worldwide due to its rarity, design, and mysterious background. The 1-cent coin from South Africa, dated 1969, might appear like any ordinary penny at first glance. However, what sets it apart isn't just its age or origin, but a combination of political context, low mintage numbers, and design variations that have made it a topic of debate and admiration among numismatists. To fully appreciate this coin, we have to look at the socio-political landscape of South Africa in 1969. The country was deep into the apartheid era, which not only shaped its political atmosphere, but also influenced coinage decisions. The government was very specific about national symbols and representation during this time. The coin's obverse features the portrait of Jan van Riebeeck, a Dutch colonial administrator and founder of Cape Town. His image was prominently used on many coins of the time as a symbol of white European settlement, reflecting the political ideology then prevalent in South Africa. On the reverse of the coin, we find a well-crafted depiction of two sparrows sitting on a branch, a symbol of everyday simplicity and nature, reflecting the agricultural and humble life that much of the population led. This artwork was part of a series designed to highlight local wildlife and natural beauty. The 1-cent coin was minted in bronze, which gives it a reddish-brown tone. It has a diameter of approximately 19 millimeters and weighs around 3.1 grams. These specifications were consistent with other small denominations at the time, meant for everyday circulation. Despite being a low denomination, the 1969 1-cent has sparked intense interest among collectors due to its unusual scarcity. It's believed that very few were released into circulation. While some varieties may have been experimental strikes or proof issues not intended for general use, one of the key reasons this coin is so sought after is the rumored existence of a special proof version, which was struck in incredibly low numbers, perhaps even just a handful. These coins have exceptionally sharp detail and a mirror-like finish, distinguishing them from their circulated counterparts. Over the years, rumors have persisted in collector circles about a rare 1969 proof 1-cent that sold at auction for an astonishing price. The highest known sale was reported at around 1.6 million US dollars, making it one of the most expensive African coins ever sold. This high value is not typical for all 1969 1-cent coins. Common circulated versions may only be worth a few dollars to collectors, depending on condition. However, it's the ultra-rare proof or error coins that command the massive price tags in private sales and elite auctions. It's important to understand that the value of a coin is determined by rarity, condition, demand, and historical importance. In the case of the 1969 South African 1 cent, all four factors align to create a perfect storm for a valuable numismatic treasure. Only a few certified proof examples exist, and they're tightly held in private collections. Because so few people have actually seen them, they almost have a mythical status in the coin world. When one does come to light, it becomes headline news in the rare coin community. Collectors should be cautious, though. There are many fakes and altered coins in the market that claim to be rare versions of the 1969 1 cent. Always consult with a professional numismatist or get certification from a reputable grading service if you believe you have one of these rarities. In terms of grading, the most valuable coins are those in proof 65 or higher, meaning they're in mint condition with no blemishes visible under magnification. Coins that meet this standard are almost always kept in protective cases and never circulated. While the 1969 South Africa 1 cent may seem like an everyday object to some, its story, from political symbolism to extreme rarity, transforms it into a piece of history. It serves as a reminder of how even the smallest items can carry immense cultural and financial value. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just discovering the world of rare coins, this coin 1969 South Africa 1 cent coin history. This coin 1 cent coin from the year 1962. The 1962 South African 1 cent coin may seem like a modest piece at first glance. Small, copper-colored, and common to those who used it decades ago. But like many rare coins, its true worth lies in the details. The metal, the minting process, and most importantly, the context of the time in which it was produced. South Africa in the early 1960s was a country undergoing major political and economic transitions. The year 1962 marked just 2 years after South Africa became a republic, formally leaving the British Commonwealth in 1961. The coinage of this time reflects a pivotal moment in the country's identity, moving toward its own independent designs and symbols. The 1 cent coin from this year features the image of Jan van Riebeeck, often regarded as the founder of Cape Town, on the obverse side. His face was used widely in South African currency during this era, as a symbol of European settlement and leadership. It's a historically significant portrait that represents the colonial narrative prevalent at the time. The reverse of the coin features 2 small birds, sparrows, intricately detailed and in mid-flight. This charming image was designed by Cecily Robinson, one of South Africa's most prominent female coin designers. The sparrows are not just artistic. They symbolize resilience and freedom, reflecting subtle national values amid political unrest. The coin was minted by the South African Mint in Pretoria, using bronze as the base metal. It weighs 3.11 grams, has a diameter of 19 millimeters, and features a smooth plain edge. These small specifications help experts authenticate genuine pieces and distinguish them from counterfeits. In terms of mintage, 1962 was not considered a particularly rare year. Millions of these 1 cent coins were produced for everyday circulation. However, the key to its rarity lies in the variations, the condition, and minting errors, all of which can dramatically affect its value. One of the most valuable aspects of the 1962 1 cent coin is tied to its proof coins. These were never intended for general circulation and were struck using specially prepared dies to create a mirror-like finish. Only a few hundred proof versions of this coin exist today, and collectors prize them for their clarity and craftsmanship. Adding another layer of value are the error coins. These are 1962 1 cent coins that may have been misstruck, double die errors, or off-center strikes. These flaws, though unintentional, are highly desirable in the numismatic world because of their rarity and uniqueness. Perhaps the most astonishing story associated with this coin is the auction record set in recent years. A pristine, high-grade 1962 South African 1-cent proof coin, certified and graded at PR 69 by a professional grading service, sold for an eye-watering $1 million at a private international auction. This sale stunned many collectors and underscored how historical value and rarity can converge into significant monetary worth. To be clear, not every 1962 1-cent coin is worth millions. The average circulated piece may fetch anywhere from $1 to $10 depending on its condition. But for those in mint state or proof coins stored in original government packaging, the value can climb rapidly, sometimes into the thousands. The coin's increasing demand is also fueled by its cultural significance. As more South African collectors seek to reclaim pieces of their national history, the 1962 1-cent coin stands as a tangible symbol of an era that shaped the modern republic. This local interest is pushing prices higher on both domestic and international markets. Moreover, the appeal of this coin extends beyond South Africa. International collectors, particularly those focused on colonial-era coinage or transitional national currencies, are drawn to the 1962 1-cent for its blend of artistry, rarity, and historical relevance. Condition is everything when it comes to valuation. Coins that have retained their luster, with no visible scratches or discoloration, are classified as uncirculated or mint state. These examples command a premium, and if certified by a trusted third-party grader like NGC or PCGS, their market value multiplies. Storage also plays a major role. Coins kept in climate-controlled environments and sealed in protective holders tend to retain their condition far better than those stored loosely. For collectors, investing in proper storage isn't just about aesthetics. It directly preserves the coin's future resale value. Investors are now keeping a close eye on coins like the 1962 1-cent, particularly after its $1 million auction result. With increasing interest in rare coins as alternative assets, these once-forgotten cents are being reevaluated not only as historical objects, but as financial instruments. For those interested in adding a 1962 South African 1-cent coin to their collection, it's important to conduct proper research, verify authenticity, and consider grading before purchasing. Reputable dealers, auction houses, and grading services can all assist in making sure your coin is the real deal. In conclusion, this coin 1962 South Africa 1-cent coin history